For the past couple of weeks, a lot of extremely big content creators have decided that they're going to leave the internet or take a break. And not so long ago, another one ended up being added to that list, but this one is going to hit really hard for a lot of people because it is MatPat, the person who hosts and run the Game Theory YouTube channel. Now, this is something extremely interesting because this is a really weird way to start off 2024. I mean, the year has just begun and there have been a lot of extremely weird things going on, just really weird moments out there in the real world, or just the most weirdest and confusing internet drama to ever happen, but this is something that no one has really saw coming. Another extremely big YouTuber leaving, but the Game Theorist YouTube channel ended up uploading a video basically confirming this news called Goodbye Internet. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Most of the time when I watch YouTube videos, or just YouTubers in general, I normally don't really need to deal with being parasocial. That's usually something that I just don't really understand, how someone can go and watch a YouTuber and get overly attached to them, and that's the only thing they think about. So most of the time when YouTubers say stuff like, "Oh, I really care about you," or "I think you're extremely cool," it usually doesn't really work on me. But this time, it 100% did, because this was an extremely hard video to watch. Every single time when I end up saying that, "Yeah, I really care about you," it felt like he was talking to me. Like, "Yes, MatPat, you're only talking to me, Lua to the moon, not the millions of other people who are gonna watch this video. They don't matter. You specifically just care about me." And man, that was the only time I ended up feeling that, and it felt extremely weird. But in this video, he basically ended up explaining why he's quitting, and why now he thinks it's the perfect time for him to go and leave. Which, this is just something that I want to talk about a little bit. First, I want to talk about the Game Theorist video, and then I want to go and just talk about YouTubers leaving in general. So, in MatPat's video, he ended up giving the audience the reason why he's decided to leave YouTube. And it's something that we have heard a lot of YouTubers say. He basically explains him grinding and the process to make YouTube videos is something that is extremely hard. He talks about how he spends a lot of time in his life just focusing on what video he's gonna make next, and that's the process of making a video in general. And he's saying that is something that's really time consuming, and he just doesn't really want to worry about that anymore.
For as much as I love you, and I love overthinking things, and I love theorizing, I don't love late nights. I don't love the fact that Steph and I have been work first for over a decade, where I'm sitting down at dinner with my best friend and we're talking about business logistics, or we're talking about animatronic toes. I miss the days where I could just sit down on the couch with her and play video games, and it's not for content. Or I'm playing a game and I'm not thinking about what theories are going to come out of that.
And the other thing that he ended up bringing up is why now he thinks it's a perfect time for him to leave YouTube. He ended up bringing up that in this year, it ended up being one of the most successful years in his YouTube channel's history. That he was able to accomplish a lot of stuff like hosting the Stream Award, and it wasn't really that cringe. I don't know if that's true because I didn't watch the event, but I'm just gonna believe him and just assume that the Stream Awards was absolutely amazing and nothing bad ended up happening at all. And basically, he's on a really big high right now, and now he thinks it's the perfect time for him to go away, because he ended up bringing up that there's really only two ways that a YouTube channel ended up dying.
There is a bit of a selfish side to this. When you think about it, there's only really two ways to step away from a YouTube channel. You either just decide the day that you stop uploading and you're like, I'm done, or you just keep uploading videos from now until the heat death of the universe, and you watch as your relevance slowly dies or your passion slowly dies. And for me and my journey in this place, I always wanted to go out on a high note. And when you stop and look at the last year, this has been the best year in the theorist lifespan ever. Like, no joke. It is our highest view year. It is the year where we launched Style Theory and immediately put our foothold in a brand new space, and that took off, and now we're one of the top style and fashion channels on YouTube. And that kind of completes the trifecta of, hey, we now have a top channel in 4 different verticals that are completely different, and no other YouTuber really has ever been able to do it to that scale.
And that is true. I'm pretty sure all of us have seen a content creator that used to be extremely big, gets millions of views, everyone is talking about them, and then their channel just dies. Now, what I have seen from watching a lot of YouTube, the main reason why a YouTube channel dies is usually 2 reasons. One, they are not able to evolve because obviously the YouTube meta changed, and stuff that used to work 10 years ago, I don't know why I went so far back, but stuff that used to work 5 years ago isn't really going to work now. So if you're a YouTuber and you just stay exactly the same, you stagnate, you have a high chance for your channel to just fall off. Or 2, they just completely change their content style and they're just unable to pick up a new audience. So let's say they're doing something like what I'm doing and just making daily slop. Suddenly out of nowhere they chance to make like long-term videos and their audience just don't really mess with it, and they're also just unable to build a brand new audience, so their YouTube channel just dies. This is something that I have seen a lot, and it's just really sad to see a YouTuber who used to be extremely big back then, and now they just absolutely suck and they're unable to pick up any viewership, and it's something extremely depressing and no one likes to see it at all. So it makes sense that now he wants to go leave when he's on a high note. Everyone is talking positively about MatPat. He got in no extremely bad, terrible Twitter drama to absolutely ruin his reputation like the completionist. Now he can just leave and drive away in the sunset like he's riding a bike in Ghost Runner. I don't know why I decided to bring up that as a reference, but I am still thinking about that game. And then, the last thing I should say about his videos, that he's also not completely leaving because he's given the channel to new people that he ended up training. So I'm very interested to see how his new videos are going to be without MatPat actually there. Content creators leaving is something that I want to talk about a little bit more because I feel like we're going to see this a lot, especially this year. Because I think MatPat is going to start a domino effect where a lot of creators who have been around for like 10 or maybe even 15 years. Has YouTube even been around for 15 years? I don't know, and I don't really care enough to check. But basically, content creators who have been around for as long as MatPat, I think they're also going to start leaving. And I think a lot of them are going to come down to the same reason, and that's most likely being 2. One is that the job is just becoming way too time-consuming, or they just lost their passion. Obviously, if you are an extremely big creator who is getting millions of views, most of the time, they usually will up their production value. So instead of them just making videos inside their room sitting down, a lot of them will try to do something way more bigger. Like, it's becoming extremely common for content creators to get like sets, or even have like special guests, or even some of them even going outside and recording something just for a video that they made. So of course, if you keep on doing that over and over again, it gets extremely stressful and it can just kind of consume your life, and it's something that you just don't want to do anymore, which is the main reason why a lot of content creators like MatPat just straight up leave. And I also think the way that he's doing it is something that you're also going to see way more. He has kind of found a way to turn his whole brand, the game theory, into a whole brand that is more than MatPat. Now obviously he is extremely important, and I do feel like there is going to be a piece of his audience who are probably not going to watch the new people he hired to take over the channel. They're just going to leave because MatPat is gone. I think that is something that is going to happen, and I'm pretty sure that he's even aware of that. But he has kind of found a way where now he can perfectly give the channel off to the next generation, and if they do good enough, they could continue the game theory brand to live forever. And I feel like that's something we're going to see way more this year. Because think about a lot of big YouTube channels that exist, which is like kind of a brand. Someone else can easily take over the place from the original creator and keeps the channel living on, which I think is very interesting. And I also think we're going to see the second type of YouTube retiring, which is the thing that PewDiePie ended up doing, where yeah, he's technically done with YouTube. He said multiple times that he's done trying to have his channel grow and he's just going to upload whatever he wants, which for him is just him vlogging in Japan. I feel like there's going to be a lot of YouTubers who are going to start doing stuff like that. They may say they quit, but basically what they mean, they're going to stop really putting in effort on YouTube and just making more relaxed content. content. Either way, this whole story is just very interesting with MatPat leaving, and I think we're going to see this way more as time goes by. I don't really know what's going on, but it's a sad time to be on the internet. Anyway, this is just something that I want to talk about. My name is Lua. You have a good day or night. See ya.